Hi, this is Charlie giving you Wednesday's video, and I've been asked if I could do an update regarding the live trade-off that we had at the London Forex Show last week. Yes, I managed to win that trade-off, and yeah, it's 5 years undefeated now. But having said that, that may be my last one. I may decide not to do any more. I have some reasons why I may not bother doing the live trade-off anymore. But let's go through. People have asked, what was it you did, Charlie? And can you run through it? So I shall run through what happened. So the live trade-off takes place at the London Forex Show between myself and a competitor. And we only get an hour and a half to trade. So it's always a small window, realistically, to find a trade or two within that window. And because it's done in the afternoon session, there's no point doing it early in the morning because the show doesn't open until 9:30. So it's always done at 1:20, so it gives us time to, if we want to, there's always some CAD news because they always do the London Forex Show at like the third weekend in, or whatever it is, in February. So there's always some CAD news out at 1:30. So at least by starting at 1:20, we have just enough time to get ourselves connected, because it's always a bit of a rush getting your computer connected to the hotel Wi-Fi where the venue is, getting the technicians to connect our laptops to the projectors so that people can see on the big screens in the audience. So that's the most stressful part for me, is actually getting connected. And yet again, the previous presentations in there had overrun, as they so often do. And so anyways, we literally only had a few minutes. Anyway, having said that, I managed to get connected in time. And I was interested in this in dollar CAD because that was where there was news going to be coming out of. Of course, there could be moves in other currency pairs, but at least I'm guaranteed some sort of move. I can't remember what the news was. I think it was CPI or whatever it was on CAD on Friday. So I was solely focused on that, and it just so happened actually that the day before it had already hit some key resistance. The dollar CAD the day before, if I take it to the daily chart, this is where it happened. The day before, it hit the 200, my yellow line here, it hit the 200-day moving average, and had done a doji there. So that was what had happened on the Thursday. So going into the Friday, I was already looking for a short, and in fact I had already got short with a unit. Obviously I can't include that in the results on the live trade-off, but I had already put a position, just one lot. I'd done it with the traders in our trading room on the Thursday afternoon. So I'd already got one lot in, and I'd said to the guys that, it could be that by overnight that may, because we'd got in over here somewhere on the Thursday afternoon, I said it may just drift down. I was looking for this green line as a target, the 100. There's a reasons why on this instance. And anyway, it didn't. It held up, so that was a bonus. So when I woke up in the morning and saw that it had held up, I thought, great, if that can hold up through to the news, then I can then actually trade it, because obviously the trade I'd put on the Thursday is obviously you can't include obviously in a live trade-off. So, and it did hold up pretty much. So here's where we got to the news. So that's the 12 o'clock bar. News was at 1:30. So what effectively happened, if I take this to a 15-minute chart, scroll it back, here it is. So it was perfect really, because just ahead of the news it had blipped up a little bit. This was the 1:15 bar, so this is the bar that happened just before the news came out. And so I must have had about 30 seconds to get connected. And all of a sudden, my charts were working and on the Wi-Fi, and literally for a while they were taking ages to boot up. And so I had about 30 seconds, and so literally just called it, stuck my hand up, right, got a trade. I had to interrupt Kim. Kim was busy doing an introduction at that point because we'd been faffing around trying to get our laptops sorted out. And even though we start from officially 1:20, so Kim had started doing an introduction. I said, right, okay, got a trade on. News are coming out in a few seconds. Going to short dollar CAD, and that's what's happened. So I only managed to. It blipped down to about I think it was 126.88. I saw. Then it blipped back up, and I managed to hit it at 126.94. Only shame was then it thundered down, and I didn't get a chance to put a second lot in because Lee and I had agreed. about £20 a point. So that's a bit over 2 lots. Obviously, it's about 2.5 lots, but in the heat of things, in the speed of things, I'd have loved if I could have just got a second lot in, let alone changing the deal ticket and then getting another half off. That was probably less likely with how fast it moves. So I only managed to get another lot off. So it shot down, and literally in seconds. I mean, this all happened in probably about 10 seconds. It couldn't have gone much better, really. And so I managed to close out because my target was, hourly chart, take it back, was this green line. As you can see, it overshot the green line. I'll show you. I actually took a photograph of my computer at the time, and so I got an exit in the, what was it? I'm just looking at it off screen, at 46. So I got an exit at 46, but it just so happens that the position that I had from the day before, I'd actually put a limit order in a bit further down in the 20s, and that just hit that limit order. So that was a bonus, really, that I was already in a position from the day before. But on the actual trade-off, I banked £264 on that trade. So let's actually bring it up. So here's the actual screenshot of the trade-off of the positions. So here it was. I got hit it at like I said, 126.94 and got out at 126.46. So what's that? Just under 50 pips for £264 return. Obviously, I made a joke of it and said, "Oh look, I've just banked 750," but of course I can't include the previous trade, the one that I'd taken the previous day. So it was only £264, unfortunately, but it was all over so quick that it moved so quick that I couldn't get a second unit in. But that was effectively it. It was a dollar CAD trade. Literally hit it as the news was coming out. The background information, we'd hit key resistance on the daily charts. We were diverging on the intraday charts, and so that's hence why I had got short and was still trying to get short into that news. And then came out, and then I didn't get another trade. Actually, it had a nice bounce back up, but there was nothing else. But there was no need for me to take another trade because my competitor didn't take a single trade. He was just looking at the euro dollar, and the euro dollar wasn't really moving, so he didn't find a trade. That's his decision. Where was it? It was over here. Yeah, it was just chopping around sideways, and he wasn't really looking at much else that I know of. He was just talking about the euro, which is fair enough. It's his decision not to look elsewhere, and so he opted not to trade. So that was the end of it. But it was a very good trade-off. We had loads of questions from the audience as usual to answer, and so yeah, that was the end of that. But as I said at the beginning, I've done it 5 years now, and it's been great being being the undefeated at the show. But a couple of things have taken place which I've not been happy with as a result of after that event. So not during it, but afterwards. So I may say, do you know what? I've proven my point. I've now won that 5 years in a row, undefeated. I do all the other live trading that I do. Done the 10k to 100k challenge. I'm in the middle of a 50k to 500k challenge, which you know that I'm going to be doing an update on in June. And I think I do enough within our live trading room, Kim too. And so maybe I hang up my trading gloves, so to speak, and maybe let someone else have a go. I don't know. We'll see. But that's my thoughts at the moment. But that was the trade on Friday. So nice, as it turns out. Nice. It was lovely when they moved like that for you. And so that was the end of that. Right. We're 8 minutes 50 in. I better stop blabbering on and enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be back on Friday for live trading.